How are we doing over here? Let's have a quick peek. How are things going? Things seem to be going okay. The production has slowed, though. Why? What has slowed it? Oh, we're going pretty much as fast as we can, it seems. So perhaps here that the problem is? You know what, let's take this all the way up to 10. I don't think it's really the problem, though. No, it's really not. I'm just filling that out for the sake of it at this point. Yeah, and we've got caravans just waiting for the mana. Though we're so close to the mana reactor now. Oh, my lord. Super happy with that. How are we doing with fish? Could we be doing things faster? We definitely could. So let's pop 5 peeps in there. Get them producing that that delicious cooked fish that little bit quicker. That should help out as well. Let me just double check this. Now we're almost at the full there, so that improvement there will probably be all we need. So next thing that I would like to do, I'd like to deliver vegetables. Following that, I'd like to deliver milk, but milk is going to have to be delivered in a different caravan. Yeah. Okay, so vegetables first then. We need a little veggie farm. And perhaps a little bit of a grain farm as well. To supply some cows. And the fertilizer from said farm could then be redistributed to other areas. If I added a water booster, I could get more water out, but really, I don't think it would help. The best thing I could do here, actually, because the problem is not the amount of water we have, it's the speed that it's being moved. It would be faster for us if we made a slight adjustment to the positioning. So move that over there. In fact, delete it. There we go. We do want to grab it, but first we want to... Let's grab you. Rotate that one there. Grab the grabber. Grab this one. Rotate it there. Copy the grabber. There we go. And this will allow me to pull out twice as much water as I could before. Now, is that going to make a big difference? Maybe not. But we can but hope. Let's have a watch. Are we going to eventually creep up and be able to hydrate all of the soil? Looks like we can. Just... Ooh. Yeah, there we go. So that tiny little change, basically the addition of one grabber at the expense of a splitter, gave us that little bit of an edge. Tiny, tiny bit of an edge there. And that's helped all that we needed. We're still nowhere near producing enough grain, though, for what we're asking. Another grain farm would be appreciated. We could have this farm start helping out with the grain. Do we want to do that? Kind of think we do. Right, so this one can help out with berries. Let's get those going. And then we're going to just add a little bit of something to help out with some extra grain. There we go. Now, we're going to want to probably have a splitter down here. Right there. We're going to have to go up and over for this. No, we're going to have to start back a little bit further. This way. Oh, There we go. Right, we can now research the fire temple, water temple, earth temple, air temple, omni-pipe transmission, omni-planters, and we can build the mana reactor. We will get to that. Actually, you know what? Let's go and do that right now. Let's get over there and set this up. Right then. For pretty much any of this, we need to have an omni reactor. So, but I want omni pipe transmission because it is that at that point we will be able to. Oh wow! Oh, the omni temple is probably capable of making any of these then. Ah, but omni pipe transmission is going to allow us to send items through pipes. Diablo King, thank you very much for the subscription there. Right, let's get everything set up over here. We're going to need to set up a decent amount of processes at the back there in order to get the Omni Temple set up. That's fine. There we go. Oh wow, Diablo King, thank you so much for the gift subs there. Ken, Lamzak, Shiny the Pooh, Shinny the Pooh rather, Shiny Poos if you want. Suborbital Process and Only Marvelous all have Diablo King to thank for your dapper modes. Thank you so much. It was so very, very generous of you. Right, let's get this on the go again. We want to bring this up and over here it comes a little bit harder to manage actually. So we're probably going to want to bring this up around there instead and then continue up to about here and actually no, we're going to start this all the way back here. There we go. This way we have everything can connect up like that. And from here we will grab grains. Now we're going to need to take it up using the conveyor. But once we're at the top, we can go to using the chute. There. The same down here, and we just want to splitter it there at that last point. There we go. And we should be able to get this to start gathering grains. Go. Now that's going to slow things down just a tiny, tiny bit. So as a direct result of that, we're going to pop in as many workers as this place wants to be able to hit that maximum speed. Wha-pow! Like so. That's ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Now there is one other way we could achieve this. Because obviously that's moving a little bit faster because this is taking a bit more time. Because of the slowness of the conveyors. Now, if you really want to, you can fix that by doing this. Let's get rid of that. Now, I've demonstrated the way you can use silos before. But just to recap, you can use silos as a very rapid stepper, if you like. So that we can pull something up and over. So we'll set this up for grains. Then rotate it back into position. Oops. Damn it. I keep doing it wrong. There we go. So this is now pulling them out more or less as fast as it can. And then sending them on their merry way. There we go. Now a little bit of extra grain is going to allow our mills to hopefully keep full production. And as a result, we're going to have bread being produced at reasonably decent speeds. In fact, we're now at a point where the bread is being produced basically faster than we can move it out with the conveyor. There we go. There we are. So those two farms, thanks to the power of magic, are able to outproduce a kitchen. And that is a kitchen with a fire booster and everyone working there that they can have. It's pretty impressive when you think about it. But we are going to want to try and pull out those that bread a little bit faster if we can. Since the bread is realistically the only one that's struggling, it's the only one we need to bring down here any other way. You know what? Maybe I should just have a caravan help with that. Sure. You can move bread specifically. The others can gather it from the barn, but you can go straight to the kitchen and take as much bread as you can carry. Granted, that's actually quite a lot. I'm going to want to very specifically limit the top two to bread. But outside that, I want you to pick up everything you can from over here. Gather anything and move it across. If you can carry something, you should. So in this case, it'll be fruit juice or bread. And that's fine by me. Absolutely okay with you moving everything. Let's have a watch. Bump. There we are. Perfect. I could, of course, have a little silo out there if I really wanted to, but I don't really. I think this is good enough. Oh, wrong one. At this stage, I don't think we need to do anything with any of these. We've pretty much hit everything we needed to do. Aavak, if you use a grabber and a silo and repeat them until you reach your destination, is that faster than a metal belt? I don't believe it's faster than a magical belt, but I do believe it's faster than a metal belt. However, I think it is possible to make it faster than a magical belt if you leverage the way that a silo works. So let's just set up this silo and a second one just as an example. There we are. I'm just going to set that to none for now. So normally, let's assume that it isn't something that moves on a chute, but it's a regular cloth conveyor. That is going to be slow. That's going to be slower than a metal belt. But if you do this, I've got twice as much throughput. And of course, you can do that on every side through the use of grabbers. You are now drastically outperforming a metal belt. And you can keep going. You can double up the sides as well. If you are willing to spend the space and the cost of the silos, if that's not your limiting factor, then yes, you can massively outmove items. And in fact, if you use magical belt, then I think the only thing that then limits you is how fast the silo is capable of outputting. Now, you've got to understand that right now, all I'm doing is outputting between this one to this one. You can't just keep doing this because, for example, I'm using up 3 sides to input on this silo. So if you're going across a short distance, then that's going to allow you to shift a ridiculous amount of stuff. But if you just need to move, for example, you'd always have the outputs going out that way, and then on the one side, and then on the next side. So something like this. We'll quickly do that. There we go. There we are. And you would have it alternate between each direction. Then that's still 4 conveyor belts output pretty much as fast as it can. Hello, Duffelfish. And On Face, thank you so much for the resubscription, mate. It is an expensive solution, yeah. Absolutely. It's an expensive solution, but if throughput was in a very small space was your limiting factor, then this would allow you to massively increase that. And of course, you know, this is just regular conveyor. You could do this with metal conveyor. You could do this with magic conveyor. 4 magic conveyors worth of material moving across there. But I don't think, I can't imagine that you'd be able to push 4 magic conveyors worth of throughput into a one tile space. I don't think you'd be able to have enough ways of getting that much product into the silo outside of a packager. If you had packagers inputting into a silo from a saturated delivery of packaged items, then yes, you might be, because that's basically multiplying the product by 4, the volume of product by 4. So that might actually be something that you'd realistically want to do in that scenario, but that's such an edge case. But by and large, you would never really need something like that. As a whole, it would never be needed. But that is actually quite nice. We're producing a decent amount of bread there. Everything's moving along. Donk. There we go. This place is very happy with the amount of stuff it's got now. Very happy indeed. I feel that pushing this many caravans down there, though, is getting a little bit annoying. So let's just have it deliver it to the barn. And then we'll have the other two grab it from there. That should be fine. Okay, so that's done. Now we wanted to set up the farm for vegetables, and I think the vegetables should be off to the side. Maybe they should be to an entirely different barn, frankly. Oh my good lord, I didn't notice this when we bought it. That is an awful lot of mana. Someone was mentioning that maybe I should be manufacturing magic mana bricks and sticking them in an extra silo. Might be a good idea. Yeah, that is an absolutely valid suggestion as well. You can use caravans, and I used to use wagons with wells in much the same way. So, for example, you can do this. You know what? I'm just going to copy them. It's fine. Now, a wagon can move at most. Let's have a quick look. It can move 32 items. So if I told that wagon to move whatever was in here over to here, it will be moving 32 items, basically per tick. You could have extra wagons in the sides, for example, that would then be shunting that along. And it gets very, very, very good very quickly. To limit the wagons, you would probably set something up along these lines. Like that. And then on this side, you would do something like this. You'd have that wagon there, and then another wagon that would have to move along this side. Alternatively, you could have extra silos. So you would have... Now, this is getting ridiculously expensive for what you're trying to do. But you would have wagons like this in this configuration. This one taken from there and put in there. This one taken from there and put in there. This one taken from there and put in there, and so on and so forth, all the way along. And you would be able to move staggering, absolutely staggering volumes of product that way. But I just don't see anyone generating that much product that they would then need to move through a silo. That's a very specific kind of need. I think at that point, it would be easier for you to just move your production facilities around a little bit. Tutorial, yeah, that is pretty much it. So, short version, you can, but why though? Science was so busy answering the question whether it could, it didn't stop to ask whether it should. Right. I do think I want the vegetables delivered here, though, ultimately. How would I like to do that? Is it possible that because right now we're not making use of all of the grain that we have. It could be possible that we could have some vegetables over here just delivered down to a silo and then dropped down, but I'm not sure about that. And yet, yeah, I think we will. I think we will. And we're going to get rid of this little bit of grain in there. And we are instead going to be planting potatoes. Wait, that looked like grain. Why did that look like grain I was planting? Oh no, it is potatoes, okay. Fair enough. Right, so, actually we don't need that. Now, the beautiful thing about potatoes is they roll. And that is exactly the reason why I chose to go with potatoes just then. No, come on. There we go. I want potatoes, please. I would very much like it if you would gather me potatoes. There we are. Marvellous. We'll deliver these potatoes down to a little, I think a little silo down here somewhere, and have those then directly just ferried across into the barn. I think that's probably the nicest way of doing it. There we go. Now, I know I've spent a lot of time on this little area over here, and we've not really been doing too much with everything else that we need to be working on, but I like it, though. I would appreciate it if these could start rolling down more or less straight away. I gotta move my coke out of the way. Perhaps I should set up the Earth Shrine, either in or beside the farm. Yeah, now that we're growing potatoes, that seems like a much more reasonable use, honestly. Yeah, I see what you mean. Oops. I want that to... Oh, damn it. I want that to be 9. I wish there was some way of locking the UI. Once you had it set up the way you wanted it. It's a little bit vexing that you can't. Oh. Actually, we will have this roll out in this way. Just to ensure that I don't accidentally cut myself off. Oops. There we go. And then at the corner, because we'll slow down at a corner, we'll immediately start into a decline. My finger's in the wrong place. There we go. And once again, because it's potatoes, we don't need any kind of, we don't need a conveyor belt. We can just use a chute. And finally, potatoes and store. There we go. We should now see these guys grabbing potatoes. There we are. Marvelous. Our peeps should eat well tonight. There we go. Not bad. Aavak, if you put the wagon silo configuration in a loop, then you would have your very own item accelerator. What scientist wouldn't want their very own wagon silo accelerator to generate exotic forms of items? I mean, that is fair. But now you're getting into the realms of people using the fact that picking up and dropping an item in D&D is a free action. So you just need to have, like, you know, I don't know, a few thousand peasants stood, you know, back, front to back for a while, and just have them all pick up and drop a ladder in their turn. And then in the 3-second period that the whole combat turn has gone through, that ladder has crossed so much distance, it's basically moving at supersonic speeds. And then the last one just throws it at someone, and it just creates a beautiful spray of fine red mist, where once a person stood. Yes, the peasant railgun. Exactly. The perfect example of rules as intended versus rules as written. All right, we're doing fine with ether over here, I would say. Now, if we are looking at vegetables are used in, well, in fact, all of the items that are used in tier 1 housing, so every house here is using it. In fact, everything here. I don't think I've got any level 1 houses anymore. I might do. But milk is the next one we want. In fact, yeah, I do have a level 1 house or 2. I think it's time for them to level up, though. Level 2 houses for everyone. There we are. Beautiful. I could add some more in as well if I really wanted, but I'm fine with that for now. Milk is the next one that we want, though. Milk, and then we're on to the tier 2 stuff. So, we want a proper pasture somewhere. We could set it up here, perhaps, by the old coal mine. I don't think we really need this old silo anymore. We'll pop it over there for now. That caravan can be there. And I think we're just going to get rid of most of this in order to hook up to some sort of pasture that can then deliver milk. Yeah, I like the idea of having that delivered on this side. And then the wagons can deliver in from here. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Let's go with that idea. So, 7. I guess what we want there then is something more along those lines. There we are. There we go. Right. Let's just do a little bit of adjustment to the terrain. Not much, because this is not the town that really does that. He says, as he does exactly that. There we go. That should do. We'll remove a little bit of the stone from around here, just so that we can get a nice little path going. And that should be good enough. Now that we're having this path, though, I'm going to say that we want that to be a stone road if we can. Just so that we can deliver these items nice and quickly to where they need to be. Let's go ahead and build this up a bit. There we go. I don't mind too much about having the more sandy trails around the outskirts, but I do like having the central road of stone. So if it's an option, our vehicles can make use of it. But if it isn't, then they can just go wherever they want, really. And I think at this point, it is time for us to actually finalize the fence around this part of the village. There we go. Some more of these. Only this one, I think, is going to have a lamppost. There we go. Right. And since we're here, let's go ahead and beautify some things. Sure. That'll look a bit awkward otherwise, but I'll put a little fence there. There we go. That looks nice. Ooh, 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 ooh. Haha! I approve of this greatly. Maybe this little path isn't for just anyone to use. Maybe this is like a little secluded private garden. And we'll make that even more obvious by doing this. And we'll have that path there. And have that there. There we go. Maybe it's for this house. This house in particular gets use of this little private garden over here. And we will have some benches. In fact, lots of benches. There we go. They like having nice parties. Actually, there's one too many benches. Let's pop something in that looks a little bit nice, a little bit fancy. We have nothing like a statue, unfortunately. Potted flower there, I guess. Well, no, that's the wrong type of flower. We need something different from the others. We will have this one. There we go. Where am I actually streaming from? I'm streaming from Scotland. But if you mean to ask where am I from, or if you like you're trying to place my accent or anything like that, it's from Wales. I moved down to Scotland to go to uni, and I haven't moved back yet. Right, so with all of that done, how are we going to do this? We are going to need a grain farm. We are going to need a farm producing grain. But animal feed requires 2 less grain, which is quite nice. And if we're only producing milk, that would be all we would need to worry about. But we really want to feed more than one mill, because we're going to want a couple of pastures here. One is going to produce milk. Now that isn't too difficult of one to produce, but we will also have. Well, since we're going to have one producing milk, we may as well have one that's also producing beef, perhaps? Or we could have milk and eggs. That's not a bad idea. Going for butter, I would require a kitchen, whereas the milk is just straight from the pasture, so is the eggs. So we wouldn't need any further production. But if we wanted butter, which is a really nice product to produce, it would require a reasonable amount of extra effort. Let's have a look. To make butter, 2 milk to make butter. I'm not going to look at the seconds because that's the whole point of this town. They don't care about the ratios. But we would need milk to make butter. And we'd need cloth if we then wanted to go on to cheese. But that's for gourmet. So it's not really something we need to worry about. Hard to decide, but I'm leaning towards milk and eggs because neither of these need any further production. They're just straight up, you've got it, you sell it. I mean, I could just sell the raw meat and expect people to cook it in their homes, which I don't think is that unreasonable, but you get a lot more for at this point. It's not even that we're using coal. We're just throwing fire magic at it until it's cooked. The grabbers are broken on the grain farm? Why? Oh, drat. Yeah, so it is. Plop. Thank you very much for noticing that. I completely missed it. Thank you so much for picking that out. All right, okay. Well, let's get rid of these then. Now, trying to get all of this in here is a kind of a potch, but we can do it. Donk. There you are. Then I need a splitter back there. Thank you so much for spotting that. I completely missed it. But it is fixed now. Thank you. My brain has been melting this whole time. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for sticking it out and being patient with me. Right, so that's all done. Yeah, I think we're ultimately going to get 2 pastures over here. One for eggs and one for milk. It's going to be the easier one to go for. We could have these 2 pastures, perhaps on this side. That way they could be supplied with water easily from a single well. We absolutely do not need a water shrine. Now, that is for the time being. Eventually, wells won't work the way they do now. They're currently very much a temporary thing. Milk only needs 2, and eggs need 1 fertilizer. Sorry, fertilizer. They need 1 animal feed. Milk does produce fertilizer, though, which is nice. So we are going to want grabbers to make sure the right stuff is being drawn out. I'm going to want this one to be fertilizer, and this one to be milk, and this one to be eggs. I mean, technically we don't need the grabbers there, but I'll use them anyway. And then we want a barn. That I would like to have set up for eggs and milk only. Now the fertilizer will be delivered over to the actual farms, but we'll see how we can get it over there in a moment. I would like to deliver the feed at the back here. Yeah, do something like that. Let's drop this 1 more, like that. That way I can have it split evenly. Wait. Fertilizer does not... no, actually, I think animal feed does move down a chute. Let's go and have a look. Do we have anywhere that... yeah, animal feed does move down a chute. Perfect. Okay. That means that we're going to be able to split them evenly on this side. There we are. And then this can be just delivered along the side here. Like that. Okay, so we need, I'm going to say probably two, I'm just going to buy this place. Ooh, water. 2 mils worth of animal feed. So let's get that together, shall we? Poppy there, poppy there. Now I could have them delivering that sideways. I can have them facing in, but I don't think it's necessary really. There we go. Same here. Now, if I were to get to the point where I was producing enough animal feed that I thought I could run an extra line for it, because we're not doing that here. We've got one line straight out of the front door, but I could have it being gathered from elsewhere as well. In fact, you know what? I kind of like the idea of just delivering it like this instead. Because then we could have like a little... Yeah, I like the idea of there being a path here. Just so that we have the illusion that people can walk around in this area. Again, this part of the town is much more about the peeps. Going about their daily business. And to that end, I'm gonna have a little well in here, I think. And then this little path going up. There you go. Actually, no. We've already got a well over there, so how about we have something else? We'll have a lamppost right there. Perfect. I like it. Okay. Now the issue here is we can't have it draw out in that way because each one needs a grabber. And you can't have 2 grabbers on 2 lines. So all we need to do for that is have the grain come out on that side from one and then on that side from the other, and then the grabbers can be displaced like that, and it'll work. There you go. I think that'll work. Oh no, the potato got through. Oh, damn it. Let me see if I can get in there. Thought I'd managed to fix it, but alas, no. Such an annoying little thing to try and get to. Oh well. There we go. Let me just rotate that properly. Bump and bump. There we go, everyone. Thank you once again for your patience. Getting distracted with the ideas that I have for other things. Done. There we go. Right, so farms. Purely grain farms, no less. We're going to have to get rid of all of that coal. Grain farms grown on a coal field. The thing is, if we want to have a nice bit of room over here, we could probably manage 3 farms working on this. At that point, though, it's... the amount of room needed for the... Well, actually, the well could easily do it. We could easily have a single well manage these 3 farms. Something like that. There you go. And we would want each of these to supply water, fertilizer if they got it, and grain. Because hopefully they will have fertilizer. Right. Now then. If we want them to deliver straight to the grain... what I'm going to do is have each one deliver into the side of a silo. This way I can leverage the fact that the silo can accept from 3 sides and then output from 3 sides simultaneously. Though realistically, I don't think I'm going to need to output from 3 sides. I'll just do it like this. But it just makes it a bit neater for me. Also, I kind of like the step as well. Let's grab some splitters. There we go. There we go. I can split only the middle one. Yeah, I could. But we found that this allows me to pull out more water than having one output point that's split. We actually observed that earlier. These 2 farms couldn't water all of the ground. This is based on a basic conveyor, and I know I'm effectively forcing myself to use basic conveyors over here. I could use faster conveyors, and in that instance, it would be better. But right now, this will output more water than having a splitter on a single output path.